Friends, the story begins deep inside a dense jungle, in a high-tech scientific lab, where experiments were being conducted on dinosaurs. Here, scientists were trying to combine different strands of dinosaur DNA to create entirely new species. But because of one small mistake by an employee, a packet of chocolate slips through a door and gets inside. It causes a short circuit, which leads to a complete system error. All the lab's security shuts down. Massive dinosaurs break free, and the very employee responsible for the mistake becomes the first victim of the dinosaurs. After that, the story jumps ahead 17 years. Now, it had been 32 years since dinosaurs had returned to the world, but most of them had died due to changing temperatures. However, the ones near the equator, meaning the hotter regions, were still alive, and common people were not allowed to enter those zones. That's where the story brings us to a man named Martin Krebs. Martin worked at a pharmaceutical company, and for one of the company's missions, he hires a former military operative named Zora Bennett. He tells her the mission is related to dinosaurs. As soon as she hears that, Zora gets out of the car. But Martin tempts her with money, saying they'll pay her $10 million. Martin explains that his company is working on a drug that could cure heart diseases. But to do that, they need to go to places where every government in the world has strictly forbidden entry. After that, the two go meet another man named Dr. Henry. This man was a dinosaur expert. He tells them that in order to create the medicine, they need the blood of 3 living dinosaurs from 3 different species. But the species must be the largest of each kind, the largest aquatic species, the largest land species, and the largest flying species. Henry soon realizes that he's going to have to join the mission too. But he says, "No, my job is only to provide information. And what you all are doing is completely illegal." To that, Martin asks, "Have you ever seen a dinosaur out in the open?" Hearing that, it doesn't take long for Henry to give in. They all head toward an island near the equator. There, they meet a ship captain named Duncan. But Duncan says, "I'm not doing this job. I just got this ship." Actually, this was all part of a setup by him and Zora to force Martin into offering more money. Zora and Duncan had been working together for the past 10 years, and they strike a deal for double the money. Their team also includes 3 more people. First, a guy named Bobby, and the other 2, LeClaire and Nina. They all head toward Barbados. Their first target is the aquatic species, the Mosasaurus. Martin explains that the Mosasaurus circles a group of islands. It's the same island where that incident had happened 17 years ago. Bobby brings along some neurotoxins, which would paralyze the dinosaur for a few seconds. Henry strongly disapproves of this. Martin insists, "We're not here to hurt the dinosaurs. We just need to collect blood samples." They plan to collect the samples using a special kind of syringe. These syringes are designed to extract blood, then launch themselves into the air, and float back down with a parachute. Zora says, "You're not the one taking the shot. I am." She mocks Henry, saying, "Look at your condition. How are you going to aim like this?" Henry replies, "Fine. You can do it." The scene then shifts to a family out at sea. A man named Ruben is with his 2 daughters, and his older daughter Teresa's boyfriend, Xavier, is also there. But even after Ruben asks him, Xavier refuses to take over steering the boat. He says he's not in the mood for his shift. He goes back to sleep, which really upsets Ruben. Then suddenly, Teresa spots something, a massive creature underwater. It was the Mosasaurus, the same one they were after. It attacks Ruben's boat. The boat flips over. Xavier was still inside it. Water starts filling up the boat. Xavier kicks open the door and escapes. Everyone thought he was going to die, but Xavier survives. Although the Mosasaurus was right behind him, Xavier swims fast and narrowly escapes. He also manages to bring out an emergency bag from inside the boat. The story moves to the next day. Duncan hears Ruben's voice on the radio. He was calling for help, but Ruben was 23 miles in the opposite direction from Duncan's ship. Bobby says their radio is still working. Someone else will probably find them soon. "We're just 3 minutes away from our target," he says. "We should focus on completing our mission first." But Duncan decides to go save Ruben first. Seeing them approach, Reuben shoots a flare into the air. Duncan brings them aboard his ship, and after hearing their story, he realizes they were attacked by none other than the Mosasaurus. Listening to their conversation, Reuben figures out these people are actually heading toward the same Mosasaurus. And just then, a Mosasaurus attacks Duncan's ship. The team prepares to collect a blood sample from it. Zora had to shoot the syringe from a distance of 10 meters. Duncan steers the ship closer to the creature, but Zora misses the shot. Henry steps in with the second syringe. But before he can do anything, the Mosasaurus attacks again. Zora somehow saves herself, gets into position, and fires the syringe. Once the syringe loads the blood, it automatically flies back to them. Everyone is thrilled. That's when Henry tells Zora that Martin's company is going to sell this drug at such high prices that no one will be able to afford it. He says, if we don't give them the samples and instead share it with the world, then the medicine will be available to everyone. But Zora doesn't respond. Meanwhile, Teresa sees something heading toward her again. But this time, it's not just one, it's many. They were mutated dinosaurs made from different species. Bobby tries attacking them with neurotoxins. But the dinosaurs make Bobby their first victim. They begin attacking the ship. Reuben's younger daughter Isabella almost falls off, but Reuben manages to save her. Duncan steers the ship toward the rocks, hoping the dinosaurs won't be able to follow them there. Reuben tells Teresa to say "Mayday" 3 times over the radio and report their location. But Martin stops her, saying, "You can't do that." In the scuffle, Teresa ends up hanging off the side of the ship, and Martin refuses to help her. Teresa falls. Xavier immediately jumps into the water to save her. Reuben also grabs his younger daughter and jumps in after them. Just then, the dinosaurs slam into the ship again. It crashes straight into a large rock. Reuben tells everyone, "Jump. The dinosaurs won't be able to follow us there." The ship crashes on a nearby island. The scene shifts to Xavier. He manages to save Teresa. Her father and younger sister also make it safely to them. Meanwhile, the rest of the team grabs their supplies and makes it onto the island too. But suddenly, the same mutated dinosaur attack Nina. One of them eats her alive, while the others can do nothing but watch. It's then revealed that this is the same island where the dinosaur experiments were conducted, the old lab facility, and now the entire area is overrun with strange mutated dinosaurs. Zora reveals that she had a plan B ready. She had prepared a backup team who would track her ship's radio frequency. If they didn't hear back from her within 24 hours, they would search the area for 2 minutes. So Zora must complete the mission and reach a high point on the island by tomorrow, where her backup team could spot them. At the same time, Reuben's family is also on the island. They see geothermal pipes and decide to follow them upward to higher ground. On the way, Isabella encounters a baby dinosaur. Teresa shoos it away. Reuben thanks Xavier for saving Teresa. The scene then shifts to Martin. While drinking water, he finds a military dog tag, and next to it, in the skeletal hand of a corpse, lies a gun. Martin picks it up. The story returns to Reuben's family. That same baby dinosaur comes to Isabella again. But this time, Isabella lets it stay. She even lets it sleep beside her. That night, while Xavier goes to pee, 2 dinosaurs start heading toward him. But before they can get to him, a bigger dinosaur attacks them instead. Xavier stands silently still and survives. The next morning, Zora's team finally finds the largest land dinosaur, Titanosaurus. 2 titanosaurs were seen courting each other. Zora and Henry seize the opportunity and collect a sample from one of them. But what they witnessed was more valuable than any blood sample. Henry also fulfills his dream of touching a dinosaur. A whole herd of titanosaurs was present there. Now they had 2 blood samples. Only the flying dinosaur's sample was left. The scene shifts back to Reuben's family. Isabella was walking with the baby dinosaur by her side. But suddenly, Xavier and the others fall down through the bushes. That's when they spot a bridge, and across it, a boat. Teresa moves ahead to reach the boat. But on the other side of the bridge lies a dead dinosaur. A small dinosaur tries to scare Teresa, but it gets scared itself and runs away, because behind Teresa was a sleeping T-Rex. Teresa finds an emergency raft nearby. She pulls it out, but as soon as she opens it, the sound wakes the T-Rex. It starts drinking from the river. Taking advantage of the moment, everyone hops into the emergency raft and tries to escape, but the T-Rex spots them. It enters the river and begins chasing them. It cuts ahead and flips Ruben's boat. Everyone is thrown into the river, but the T-Rex doesn't stop chasing. Ruben goes underwater to distract it. Everyone hides behind two big rocks, but Isabella is still holding onto the emergency raft. The T-Rex attacks the raft, but Isabella somehow survives. They all hide behind the rocks safely. Because the T-Rex can't reach them there, it crashes into the rocks and turns back. Their emergency raft was still intact. Then the scene shifts to Zora's team. They had climbed a tall cliff. Zora and Henry rappel down the cliff. They reach the nest and find the eggs. Henry begins extracting a sample from one of them. Zora asks, instead of giving these samples to Martin, what else can we do? Henry says, we'll share these samples with everyone. The whole world will be able to make the medicine. Everyone will benefit. But just then, the flying dinosaur appears. Seeing them near its eggs, it attacks Henry and Zora. In the struggle, Henry loses the sample. Leclerc attacks at the dinosaur from outside. The dinosaur goes out and kills him. It then attacks Duncan and Martin. They both escape just in time. Meanwhile, the blood sample rolls toward the edge of the cliff. Henry tries to reach for it, but his rope snaps and he falls. Henry lands directly into a river. Along with him, the sample lands safely, descending by parachute, which means they now have all three samples. Now they just need to get out of there. Zora's team reaches a helipad. There, Zora notices some footprints. She starts looking around for the kids. Martin says, how could they possibly be here? But they had already arrived. Teresa asks, where is that man? That's when Martin appears, holding a gun. Teresa says, he let me fall. He didn't help me. Martin points the gun and demands the suitcase with the samples from Zora. He straps the suitcase tightly to his arm. Just then, Isabella hears something, a low growl from a large dinosaur. At the same moment, the generator turns on. All the lights come on, and loud music starts playing. The noise attracts dinosaurs. Everyone starts running in different directions to escape. Ruben's family rushes into a nearby store. Henry and Duncan hide inside a lab. Martin and Zora hide under a nearby vehicle. Martin starts firing at a dinosaur from under the car. Back in the store, a dinosaur crashes through the roof and enters. To escape it, Isabella hides inside a refrigerator. The dinosaur sniffs around the fridge from the outside. Ruben throws a can to distract the dinosaur. Isabella sneaks out and reaches Ruben safely. They spot a sewer entrance nearby, and all of them climb inside. The scene then shifts to the lab. Duncan and Henry spot a helicopter approaching. But before Henry can signal it, he sees a giant dinosaur's claws. Terrified, Henry runs away. Outside, Zora also spots the helicopter. But just then, Martin drives off in the vehicle. Now Zora has no protection left. She runs into the bushes. The dinosaur near her slips into the sewer pipe, the same one Ruben's family was in. Zora follows it to protect them. Meanwhile, Henry makes his way to a spot where he can catch the helicopter's attention. He sees a flare. Henry shoots the flare into the sky. The people in the helicopter realize someone is down there. But suddenly, through the smoke, a massive dinosaur attacks the helicopter. It throws it far and causes a huge explosion. Meanwhile, Duncan finds Ruben's family inside the sewer pipes. He sends Henry inside as well. Ruben explains that he saw in the lab that this tunnel leads to the ocean. There's a boat there. They can use it to escape. Just then, Zora finds them again and kills the dinosaur chasing them. Everyone escapes together. The boat is now in front of them, but the tunnel gate is locked. Someone will need to crawl through the narrow gap to open it from the other side. That's when another dinosaur appears. Because she's small, Isabella squeezes through the gap. She tries to open the gate, but the giant dinosaur, the same one that destroyed the helicopter, shows up behind her. And another dinosaur is approaching from inside the tunnel. Isabella manages to unlock the gate just in time. Suddenly, Martin arrives in his car. The headlights catch the giant dinosaur's attention. The dinosaur grabs Martin and eats him. His suitcase drops to the ground. Zora picks up the suitcase. Everyone runs toward the boat. But the lights attract the giant dinosaur again. It appears right in front of Isabella. Seeing this, Duncan lights a flare gun. It draws the dinosaur's attention away. Duncan tells Zora, "You get the kids to safety," and jumps into the water. The giant dinosaur starts chasing him. Duncan is ready to sacrifice himself to save the others. Meanwhile, the others start the boat and escape. Zora keeps shouting Duncan's name. Everyone thinks he's gone. But then, suddenly, a flare shoots up behind them. Zora turns the boat around. Duncan is still alive. After that, everyone escapes safely. Zora decides to share the samples with the entire world. And with that, friends, our story comes to an end. Let us know in the comments how you liked this explanation. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.